Congratulations on your consideration or purchase of a United States Stove Company furnace, long considered America's most popular and finest wood and coal burning furnaces. By heating with wood and even coal, you're helping conserve our nation's valuable energy resources. This video is intended to demonstrate the most common installation procedures. Normal installation of this furnace is estimated at around 2 to 3 hours, but for the time constraints of this video, a time-lapse technique has been utilized in order to demonstrate the entire process. Always refer to the included owner's manual for more detailed instructions. Or if you're viewing this video before purchasing your furnace, you can download a copy of this manual from usstove.com. The furnace will usually arrive on a pallet in its protective carton. Remove the carton, but leave the wrapping for protection while placing the furnace as close as possible to its intended position near the chimney and warm air connections. And then remove the plastic and the owner's manual. Responsibly discard the plastic bag as it is not a play toy and could prove harmful to small children. Next, remove all the assembly items and components located inside the firebox and ash pan. Please note that some models may include items or options not available with your particular model or shown in this video. After removing the assembly pieces, review the clearance dimensions outlined in the manual before placing the furnace in its final position. If being used in conjunction with the central furnace, place no closer than 9 inches from the existing furnace on a non-combustible floor. If it must be placed on wood or carpet, a non-combustible UL-listed stove board or mat must be located underneath the furnace. Also, make sure that this position will allow for proper clearances for the chimney connector pipe and all hot air ducts from combustible walls and surfaces. With the furnace properly located, assemble the hardware, starting with the feed door, including the heat control box and all spring handles. Again, since these will vary by model, assemble according to the directions provided in the manual. Next will be location and installation of the smoke curtain, noting it must swing freely. Once all the remaining hardware is assembled, carefully review the wiring diagram in the manual before starting on the electrical components. Note, all electrical work must be done in accordance with the National Electrical Code and legally approved in the area of installation. It is recommended that all work be done by a qualified electrician and inspected for code compliance once completed. Attach the blowers on the rear of the furnace as shown, installing the right blower first if dual blower equipped, using the clip nuts, gaskets, and machine bolts provided. Proceed to attach the left blower in the same manner. Install the electrical junction box and spacer. Connect the flexible wire conduit from each blower to the junction box. It makes no difference which of the leads from the blower motors connects to the corresponding leads coming out of the junction box. If your furnace is equipped with a combustion draft blower, wire it into the junction box now as well. Make certain all wiring leads, including the ones from the thermodisc fan control and conduits, are firmly affixed to the junction box and the wiring nuts are tightly fastened. Install the thermodisc fan control in the upper left spacing. Next, wire your 110-volt power supply into the junction box by connecting one lead to the blower leads and the other lead to the combustion draft blower if so equipped. Otherwise, attach in accordance with the diagram. It is important to note that the power supply should be no lighter than 14 AWG on a 20 amp circuit breaker. Finally, complete the wiring by grounding your power supply to the junction box. Check for a positive ground before proceeding further. Afterwards, you are ready to close the electrical box with the cover provided. Now it is time to complete the ductwork connections, one of the most important details for your furnace installation. Without proper ductwork, the furnace will not perform to expectations. Your furnace depends on hot air supply ducts for circulation throughout the house and on cold air returns for complete circulation of heated and return air. Improper ductwork installation can create smoking, creosote buildup, poor fuel combustion, and a loss of efficiency. It is strongly recommended that a qualified heating equipment installer be consulted for proper sizing and use. Keeping all components as level as practical, connect your ductwork from the add-on to your central furnace plenum and aluminum tape all joints to maintain an airtight integrity. Your furnace can be installed as a standalone unit with its own duct system or used with an existing oil, gas, or electric system as an add-on. Here we are demonstrating the add-on approach with a furnace equipped with two 8-inch heat outlets, which are simply attached to the existing furnace plenum, remembering to maintain at least 6-inch clearance from any combustibles and to use sheet metal screws and aluminum duct tape at each joint. When connecting into an existing system, anti-backdraft dampers must be used to keep the two systems separate in function. With the all-important connection to the chimney, be sure to use no less than 24-gauge, 6-inch diameter black steel pipe and elbows. Starting at the flue collar, insert either a pipe or an elbow into the collar with the crimped end toward the furnace. All remaining joints should have the crimped ends toward the furnace. Use of a barometric damper control is highly recommended. It aids in leveling out the variations of draft inherent in all installations. Additionally, use of a cast iron solid damper is mandatory. Install it within the first 2 feet of vertical piping or the first 12 inches of a horizontal run. Use 3 sheet metal screws at each connection and sealing each pipe joint with furnace cement. Remember that all horizontal piping should be as short as possible and run uphill slightly and must maintain at least 18 inches of clearance from a non-insulated or unshielded surface. The connecting pipe should not extend into the chimney flue but should remain flush with the interior surface. The rule of thumb calls for a return air provision at least 50% larger than the hot air side. Use of the factory-made return air and/or filter box transition piece is most helpful and is perfectly sized. Assemble and loosely attach as illustrated, or use one fabricated on-site by the installer. Once the return air and/or filter box is in place, install the return air ductwork, again using sheet metal screws and aluminum duct tape at each joint. You have now successfully completed installation of your furnace. It is still a good idea to review the manual one last time to make sure everything is completed properly and that the installation complies with all local and state building and fire codes. Your insurance provider will insist this be done. During your first firing, you may notice either smoke or odors from the furnace. These are attributable to residual oils or curing paint and will dissipate quickly. We do recommend first firing out of doors as a prevention of this mild annoyance. If you incur any problems in the operation of your furnace, refer to the troubleshooting tips in the manual or contact United States Stove Company at 1-800-750-2723. or visit us online at www.usstove.com.